So now we come to today's topic. Purification of consciousness through Gyān Yoga method, through knowledge of self. We have understood how our consciousness is identified with the gross body, and then as we withdraw it inside, it slowly gets identified with the subtle body, and as it is still further withdrawn within, identity is established with the causal body. And when that identity also is lost, then one realizes pure spirit within. We understood that in terms of transcending the bodies. We also understood in terms of overcoming the kleshas, various afflictions, abhinivesh, which is clinging to the physical body, and as we go in the subtle body, rag, dvesh, asmita, we confront, and when we overcome subtle body also, we confront avidya, the primary nescience. And as we transcend that also, we realize a real spirit. We also understood that in extroverted state, we call waking state, we are conscious about all external world. In dream state, we are conscious about the subtle world within. And in deep sleep state, we are in our causal state, where more or less mind doesn't function, and we experience full stillness and calmness within. But at that time we are still ignorant. Avidya still remains in the causal body. And if we transcend the deep sleep state, then we can realize our Atman, which is Turiya, the fourth state. Now today we will discuss what are the stages of knowledge which occur as we advance towards this purification of consciousness. According to Indian scriptures, there are 7 stages of knowledge leading to the final experience of self-realization. The first stage is called Shubhecha. Shubhecha means good intention. Shubha means good. Icha means intention, desire, whatever you may call. Second is Vicharana. Vicharana is reflecting or pondering over a thing. Reflecting or pondering. As we did Manan 3, Tanumanasa, attenuating the mind. Fourth is Sattvapatti, purification of intellect. In Gita, and certain other scriptures you will find word sattva used for intellect. Sattvapatti is purification of intellect. Fifth is asamsakti. Sixth is Padartha Bhavini. Absence of matter. Padartha is matter, abhav means absence. And seventh is Turiya. That is the highest state of self-realization. These are considered to be the 7 stages of attainment of knowledge. The first, Shubhecha, good intention. It means that when an individual soul realizes that I must have undergone hundreds and thousands and millions of births and rebirths and come into being often and often. So, whether this life is worth living as I have lived so far, or something else needs to be done. And when a soul is awakened, he feels that, oh, whatever I have done in this life, in all these past years, doesn't seem to be proper. There is something else which I should search. And then the quest for realizing one's own self arises within. As that quest arises in the right sense, then one will feel not interested in whatever he is doing in worldly life, but would be hankering for finding out something which can lead him to enlightenment. Now, that fact that he has an intention to know something spiritual and to take the spiritual path is Shubhecha, that is good intention, and every soul has to start with this. But this desire should be in quest, not out of frustration in the life that we are living, not out of failure in the life that we are living, but out of real understanding and feeling that even if I am successful in this life, even if I am not a failure, I feel this is not the correct thing to do, and there must be something else which I must do. That sort of genuine quest is Shubhecha, or good intention. That's how the process of knowledge begins. Then arises the second stage of vicharana, reflecting or pondering. Now once this quest arises, one ponders over how to attain the knowledge, how to tread the spiritual path, what to do, where shall I get the guidance? And then he searches some spiritual literature, reads it, or tries to meet those people who have knowledge, or those people who have done some sadhana, some saints, some gurus, and tries to seek something from each one of them and ponders over what he learns from them, from the books. And then slowly his understanding becomes well founded. And then he feels that, oh, this is the right thing to do, and I should do this. And what I was so far doing was not the right thing, so I should not do that. And then as he comes in contact with good people, knowledgeable people, spiritual people, he also learns that the way of life that I led was not proper. There is another way of life. And as we see in yamas and niyamas, do's and don'ts, or dharma as we call, that he tries to be virtuous, tries to behave in proper manner, and to only do good things and stop doing what is not good or prohibited. That is second state of vicharana. Then he wants to learn practically what to do, how to proceed. So he comes to know that first he has to quiet his mind. The mind, through the senses, keeps one extroverted and busy with the external worldly things, which is not the proper way of life. So he tries to learn how to withdraw my mind from the extroverted world and how to make the mind attenuated so that it is not that powerful and doesn't drive the senses into the outer world. So he wants to learn the techniques of making his mind quiet, and whatever practice or whatever methods of practice he learns from whosoever guides him, he tries to put it into practice and slowly tries to stabilize his mind. That is what is the third stage called tanumansa, attenuating the mind. After that, he realizes that the mind cannot become totally controlled unless one has real discriminative power, real discrimination. So he knows that purification of intellect is necessary, because otherwise, if he can't discriminate, he will choose wrong methods, he will stick to wrong methods and will not succeed. So now he has many methods, so he has to discriminate whether to do this, whether to do that, which one is better. And he can choose the right one only if his intellect is purified. So now he finds a need for purifying the intellect and use the right discrimination. For that matter, he turns to the scriptures, to the realized people, and understands what real truth is, and then he decides which must be the right method, and adopting the right method, he proceeds further and tries to purify his intellect, going within further into the inner being. Now, as his intellect gets purified, he sees his luminous self inside. I told you while describing the subtle body that in Gita it is said, when the light floods through the gates of your body and you see the whole body illuminated, know that now knowledge will dawn upon you and your sattva guna has increased. So in sattvapatti, this sattva guna increases, the inner body is experienced as a luminous self, and the real knowledge comes from within. And that is the right beginning of the knowledge. So the first three states are leading towards knowledge. They are not actually states giving you the real knowledge inside. But this fourth state, Sattvapati, is the real state of knowledge. Then the real knowledge dawns from within. Then why the first three stages have been incorporated as stages of knowledge? Because without passing through those stages, this fourth stage of knowledge will not be achieved. And that is why the previous three also are included in the stages of knowledge. After Sattvapati, as the real knowledge dawns from within, then you see this luminous world and you feel that whole entire external world is useless. I was considering that to be real. Now something real is inside, and this is all illusion or fake. So all your attraction towards the worldly things, the external universe, is lost. And so you begin in the fifth stage of asamsakti, non-attachment. That is real non-attachment attained out of real experience. In the beginning, whatever non-attachment we have is by way of intellectual or mental understanding that this is not good, this is good. But here, by way of experience, one feels detached from the external world. That state is asamsakti, and then he always is interested in his own personal spiritual meditation and spiritual progress. Then he will seek seclusion, he will only do this and nothing else. Subsequently, he comes to sixth state of Padartha Bhavini. Now so far he was seeing the subtle things, luminous things, as we see in dreams. They are not physical. And yet we see shapes, isn't it, in dreams. Likewise, so far the subtle world was being perceived. Now, in the Padartha Bhavini state, there is no matter existing. It's all absence of matter. So there is all light and light and light. And so you don't take cognizance of universe at all. And that is where our Vedanta says that entire visible world is illusion. It does not exist. That is realized at this state that no matter exists. Matter was just a fictitious illusion created by our mind, intellect, consciousness and ego combined. And that Padartha Bhavini state is the state of Savikalpa Samadhi, and slowly it leads towards the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the final Samadhi. Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa are different in the sense that in Savikalpa Samadhi you have to take time for meditating and then come out of meditation. So when you are not meditating, you are not in Samadhi state. But Nirvikalpa Samadhi means that Samadhi never breaks. Then there is no other state for you. You can't come out of meditation even if you want. And so you remain in that Samadhi all the time, but then you are not bound to sit. You can move, you can do anything and you are in Samadhi. Then there is no other state for you. And that Nirvikalpa Samadhi is the last state, Turiya, where it is the highest state of self-realization. Then the true knowledge of self or Brahman is attained, and then one knows that I am Brahman. I am not only individual spirit, but I am one with the cosmic spirit. I am not separate from it. So this last state is the goal for each soul. Each one of us want to attain that state. Now if you see, the first three states, as I told, are beginning, and you have to do it consciously in an extroverted manner. From fourth state, Sattvapati, you are fully introverted. Fifth and sixth stages are Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. And Turiya is Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the highest. In terms of the waking, dream and deep sleep state, the first three are with the waking state. The fourth with the dream state. And fifth and sixth with deep sleep state. And Turiya is fourth state beyond those three states, as we had seen before. So in terms of Gyān Yoga, these are the 7 stages of knowledge through which any seeker has to pass. Then the Gyān Yoga culminates into the final realization. Now here, these are the stages of knowledge, not the techniques of knowledge. Techniques of knowledge, as I told you, are 3. As we learned, Shravan, Manan and Nididhyasana. Shravana, hearing, Manan, reflecting, and Nididhyasana, that is Samadhi. So the techniques are different. These are the stages of knowledge. As you gain knowledge stage by stage, as you pass through various processes. Now, Patanjali also has given a small aphorism. Tasya saptada pranta bhumihi. Tasya means of that yogic knowledge. Saptada, 7-fold. Pranta bhumihi, there are 7-fold stages. Bhumi means stages. So Patanjali also gives 7-fold stages of yogic knowledge. And Gyān Yoga also says there are 7 stages of knowledge. Now you can see that in this there is a purification of the internal instrument. An internal instrument includes 4 things. It is known as Antahkarana. Antah means inner, Karana, instrument. Inner instrument. Or you may say apparatus, whatever you want to say. Apparatus or instrument. Now it is called Antahkaran Chatushtay, 4-fold it is. What are those 4 things? 1. Chitta, consciousness. Consciousness. 2. Buddhi, intellect. 3. Ahankar, ego. And 4, mind, manas. The sound touches consciousness, no? Touches the antakaran. So that's the best way. Board and chalk is the best way to touch inside. Huh? You see how these 7 stages of knowledge purify your inner instrument. We saw in Tanu Manasa, attenuating of the mind, the 3rd of the stage in knowledge, Tanu Manasa. And in the 4th we saw Sattvapatti, purification of the buddhi, intellect. And mind functions because of ego. So ego and mind are the same, more or less, in the sense that mind comes out of ego, and ego for its satisfaction drives the mind to do everything. Mind of its own will not do anything if there is no ego behind. As you know, all the 17 elements of subtle body, they come out of ego. Ego is 17th. And mind, 5 karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, and 5 subtle elements, tanmatras. 16 of them come out of ego, and ego is 17th. All together make subtle body. So ego is behind that. So when mind is attenuated, it means ego also is subdued to that extent. Otherwise mind will not be attenuated. Then Sattvapatti takes care of purification of buddhi. And then complete renunciation and absence of matter, Padartha Bhavini. It will take care of purifying the chitta. Because it is said it is in the chitta that everything reflects. This universe, which is illusory but seems real, otherwise it is only a reflection in your chitta. It is not real. And the analogy given by scriptures is like this. Take a diamond, pure, transparent, colorless diamond, and put a rose flower near it. And you will see that the diamond, which was clear, transparent, without any color, looks pink. And you feel that the diamond is pink. No, it is the color of rose that is reflected in diamond. So diamond looks pink. This is how the entire universe is just a reflection in our consciousness of the matter of Prakriti. It is not real. Consciousness, pure consciousness, as I told, is Chit, C-H-I-T. So this Chitta, double T, no sooner there is absence of matter in Padartha Bhavini state, the 6th state, then there is no reflection in consciousness. So Chitta becomes Chit, C-H-I-T. And Sat Chit Anand means your real self, soul, spirit. No more consciousness, defiled consciousness or limited consciousness that it is here. So it is purification of antakaran. Now as this is antakaran, what is bahyakaran? Outer instrument. The body, this is another way of classification, that we are 2 things apart from soul. Antakaran and bahyakaran. So antakaran means these 4, and bahyakaran means all our senses. And that includes 5 karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas. Karmendriya means organs of act. Jnanendriyas, organs of perception. 5 tanmatras. 5 subtle elements in the sense of Shabda, Sparsha, Roop, Ras, Gandh, sound, smell, taste, touch, etc. and smell. 5 tanmatras, and then 5 gross elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, etc. So these 20, they constitute outer instrument. Inner instrument functions in an extroverted manner through the help of external or outer instrument. So, if we talk in terms of instruments, we have only 2 instruments, inner and outer. Inner instrument which can make us introvert, and outer instrument which can make us extroverted. So, Bahirangas, or the outer instrument, is purified by external means, by observing austerities, by observing yam and niyam, by certain spiritual practices like asana, pranayam, shatkarmas, etc. So external instrument also needs to be purified. But once we do that, then the external instrument needs purification. Now, in terms of this, the first two stages of knowledge can be attained with the help of all inner and outer instruments together, because that yet keeps us extroverted. But then we understand the right thing, right knowledge we get, and we want to go on the right path. Our quest is real, and we want to understand something real. As for example, you are hearing me in this class. You are using your external instrument also in gaining the knowledge. But once you know what to do, then you have to do your own practice and start purifying the antahkara, inner. And that starts from the third, from Tanu Mansa onwards. Third state of knowledge, Tanu Mansa. From there, it is purification of the antahkaran begins. Purification of mind, purification of intellect, purification of ego, and purification of consciousness, chitta. So in this way, the consciousness is purified by the yoga of knowledge. The techniques for them are Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasana. As a result of those techniques, we attain purification of external and internal instruments, and also of the 3 bodies, and attain the final state, Turiya, after passing through the 6 stages of knowledge. So in this way, the whole Gyān Yoga is linked now. Its process, its technique, its stages of knowledge, etc.